This episode of the Acts of Geekery podcast is brought to you by you, the listeners. Thanksgiving may be over, but we're still thankful. Every text, like, view, comment, email that we get lets us know that you guys are still out there listening and we're not just two guys in a basement talking to one another. So thank you so much for all you've done for us. And we may not have the biggest family yet, but we're a nice little tight family, and we're grateful for all of you. So enjoy this episode of the Acts of Geekery podcast, brought to you by the fans. Welcome back to the Acts of Geekery podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 21.
Our podcast is now legally old enough to drink.
Woohoo! And so are its hosts, but we will not drink and podcast at the same time.
We need to at one point. We need to do like a not safe for work version where we both get drunk and figure out if we're talking about geek stuff.
If we're gonna do that,
we need a moderator. We would have to get like Adam on here from last time, or a couple times ago, or someone else.
Yeah, somebody who wasn't going to drink with us. Yeah, because.
A designated podcaster.
Yeah, I mean, you think I'm racist now? Well, I'm Corey,
and I'm Scott,
and we're the Brothers Geek, here to bring you all the geeky things in the world of geekdom.
We are brothers. That's true.
Yeah, and we are geeks. We are really mega, major, ultra, mondo geeks.
mega, ultra mondo.
Yeah, it's like. You know when you go to the toy store and then there's the regular action figures and then you can get like the deluxe action figures. We're deluxe geeks.
I was gonna say, is that a
it does kind of sound like a
podcast
fat joke.
I'm okay with that.
People don't know how heavy we are.
Sure they are. Most of our friends that listen actually know us.
Yeah, actually that's true. So, well, now that we're all bummed out from saying that we're fat and everything, let's go ahead.
I'm not bummed out. I'm actually kind of hungry.
Oh, good. Well, then let's start the news clip and we'll go get something to eat.
Alrighty.
All right.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Yes, there has been an awakening.
Yep, there's been an awakening.
What do you think is in that Danish?
Was it cheese? I can't handle cheese.
I think this is the biggest news today. So big that we bumped.
Not just today.
All the other.
This whole week, it pretty much broke the internet for a while.
Before it got here, there were a bunch of trailers out that were not even real, and people were going viral with them.
Yeah.
Then it got here and it went viral itself, and it has gone and destroyed the internet much better than, as you said, Kim Kardashian ever could.
Yeah, no, she destroyed it in a bad way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Although the memes were great. Yeah, the memes were great.
Absolutely. We are talking, of course, of the Star Wars Episode 7 trailer,
The Force Awakens.
Dropped. And originally it was just going to be in select theaters, and they just threw it out there to the world.
Awesome.
And Jurassic World went, oh, crap.
Because they came out, 2 days before?
2 days before that or so, yeah.
Yep. And everyone pretty much ignored that one, and now everyone talking about the Star Wars one.
People can't stop talking about it, good or bad.
We can't either.
Yeah.
Let's see, that was a Friday morning when I watched it. It came out Thursday late.
Yeah.
I watched it Friday morning, and I was not having the greatest morning, and then I saw it, and I was like, this is a perfect way to start the day. It didn't matter what I was going to do for the rest of the day. I had watched the Star Wars trailer.
It didn't matter what you did for the rest of the day because you'd seen that.
And I watched it 3 more times that day, too.
I think you and I watched it 3 times as we were sitting there because it's so teasery. It is teasery.
And there's so much information.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, because the thing about J.J. Abrams is he likes to keep everything quiet and in-house. Like, we didn't know that the villain was Khan. I mean, people can say, I knew right away.
Pretty much guessed it.
Yeah, you can guess it and everything, but when you see, like, he's been sending these little clips out and everything of a ship here or there and whatnot, and you're like, what is going on? And then you see this trailer and you're just like, oh my gosh. This is everything that I want in Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm going to admit it. I like the movies. I'm not like, oh, I got to read all the back material, and I love this universe and everything. It's just kind of like, okay, Star Wars.
So Star Wars originally came out in 1970. I think 70 even. I think that was the very first one.
It was 70 or 72.
Close. So early 70s. So neither me nor Corey were old enough to watch them, especially not in theaters.
Yeah, not in theaters.
Our parents did,
My dad talks highly about it.
Yeah, he loves the Star Wars movie, the originals.
Yeah.
The prequels that George Lucas made, number 1, 2, 3,
came out in the 2000s.
And that's kind of our first foray into Star Wars in the theaters. We had watched Star Wars umpteen amount of times.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't count how many times we watched Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah,
Corey loved the Ewoks.
That was my favorite. Well, I was like 9. Okay, guys, just back off. Send your hate mail elsewhere.
And now he likes them even better because we found out that they're cannibals.
They are cannibals, which is pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
I saw Phantom Menace when I was 11, and when we got the movie on VHS, by the way. VHS.
Yes.
I watched that thing until I had the first sequence memorized. That was my favorite part, was when they're in the Trade Federation ship and waiting for the ambassador or whatever,
Yeah, that was the, obviously first scene and the first thing you saw, and you saw that and you were like, this is so great. Oh, this movie's going to be sweet. It's got some sweet stuff in it, new droids. And
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. Ruined it. Even at our ages, we were like, oh.
Yeah, it was kind of like, he's kind of annoying, but whatever. I remember I don't remember like anything special about episode 2.
I don't either.
But episode 3, I saw the midnight premiere with my cousin, and it happened to be not only my birthday, but it happened to be the day that my cast was coming off from my broken arm. So,
all right, there you go. This was a very important day for you.
Yeah, it was like, and I thought we were going to get in trouble because they had an open bottle in the car.
Yeah.
That's my cousin for you.
Corey, it was just Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
right. It
right.
was an open bottle of Dr. Pepper. That's okay.
I thought that the laws back then, I was like, you can't have any open bottles in your car?
Nope. Not even your washer fluid bottle. It can't be open.
Well, laws. Why are you laws?
Yeah. So this one, to me, kind of looks just like the old ones.
It feels like the original trilogy.
Yeah.
It feels like not a modern take on the original trilogy, because it still feels like you're watching an old movie, just with new sound, new technology, and everything
just
like
high
that.
def. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, everything looks... And this is what Abrams said however many months ago when we found out that he was going to do Star Wars, is they basically said, look, I want to make this like the original trilogy. We want to use practical effects wherever we can.
Yeah.
Try to not be as CG.
And the Henson Puppet Workshop went, woohoo!
Yep. Yeah, and he's released a couple little like clips and stuff as time's gone on, and it's been practical effects stuff, and it's like, that's so cool.
Yep.
Just back to the original Star Wars. And if Lucas was smart, which, I mean, I'm sorry, it doesn't seem like it.
No. Strange magic, Scott.
Yeah, I know. Well, we reviewed it last week.
Yeah.
Go listen to that last week's podcast, and you can hear our reactions about it.
Yep.
If Lucas was smart, he would have done the new ones in practical effects. Got rid of Jar Jar.
Yep.
Picked different actors for young Vader. I mean, here you've got like the most iconic villain in all of film history,
and you make him a whiny
little turd.
Yeah.
That loves pod racing. Come on, really?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Luke has kind of destroyed the franchise, but J.J. Abrams might bring it back.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
He's done good things, at least in my opinion, with Star Wars or Star Trek franchise. I better not mix those up. I go reamed.
Yeah, you'll get flacked for it.
By myself, basically. I will criticize myself
I
in the bathroom mirror. You're a fool. You're a terrible geek.
No,
can't believe it.
I can see you Da Vinci Code style up in your room, whipping your own back. It's called Star Trek. I'm not Star Wars.
You know what? I'm albino enough.
Yeah.
I might be able to pull it off. Right? I don't have as cool a voice as Paul Bettany, but
yeah,
whatever.
The voiceover, speaking of voices, is a lot of the people were speculating, is it Cumberbatch? Is it so-and-so? Well, it's Andy Serkis.
And not only will he have the voiceover for the narration, at least for the trailers, he has a small part in it apparently too.
Which I'm super excited for.
He's becoming pretty big. Mm-hmm. You know, he played Gollum.
Yeah,
and
which
not a lot of people knew who he was.
Yeah,
you know, even with that role because he's obviously CG'd.
He played, and then he comes out and does Planet of the Apes as Caesar.
Yeah,
and
plays a great
the only
motion
time
capture.
Yeah, the only time that a motion capture monkey made you feel.
Yeah, and then he did. Sorry, I've got yawns like nonstop.
Yeah.
He's doing a part in Age of Ultron, Avengers.
Oh yes, that's
you see
right.
him in the trailer. He's got a big old bushy beard.
He's got a beard, and he looks back at the camera, and then it cuts.
Yeah, we don't know what he is, whether he's a villain, good guy, what he's doing, but yeah, I think he's becoming a household name.
Yep,
he'll be doing a lot of stuff.
I'm excited, and according to this little list we have here, apparently William Shatner is not excited.
Oh, so the internet has been polarized on this. To use the phrase you told me earlier. Yeah, they have been polarized. You either love the trailer or you hate it. There's not a lot of people that are like, meh, whatever. It's more like, oh, that was the stupidest thing ever, or it was like, wow, that's awesome. I'm excited and I can't wait.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, there was nobody who just went, okay, that was a trailer.
I mean, if they're out there, sure, but you sound like a boring person.
Well, we'll just say that the most vocal people have been polarized on this.
Sure,
because there's always that. Because the internet is the loud minority, if you think about it. There's a lot. I mean, it looks like a lot of people are shouting about rights and problems in the world and everything like that. But really, it's like 20 people or like maybe 100 people that are all shouting about the same thing. And most people are just like, we don't care about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, the squeaky wheels, you know, that kind of thing. But William Shatner watched the trailer and tweeted while he watched it and posted memes and stuff.
That must have been the weirdest live tweet ever. Yeah. We were beginning the live tweet.
We're done.
This is weird. We're ending the live tweet.
But he posted a bunch of things. A couple of them were just kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, hey, the stormtroopers look happy now because their helmets do have kind of like a smile
to it. Yeah.
Compared
they're happy
to the
they're
old
going
ones.
to their deaths.
Yeah. They're happy that they're just being thrown at stuff from the Empire side. And he posted a couple others. One of them, he talks about the speeder, the land speeder.
Yeah.
Which the first thing that popped into my head was I was like, fudge sickle.
Honestly, for me, it was land speeder. I didn't
it was
see
cool.
that.
It was cool, but I was like, fudge sickle, which made it even cooler because you know we're fat kids, so we love that kind of stuff. It's great.
Like, God, chase that down the alley.
But he said it was something about an automobile fuse, which I don't never seen a fuse that looks like that, and even the old style fuses that he posted next to it don't really match. I mean, I'll show you the picture. It's kind of
it's kind of
He posts. He posted something about like the smoke monster from Lost is making its appearance again, which that was kind of funny, you know? But it's just,
and that's the thing is,
just
you got to be
steam.
kind of funny on Twitter.
Yeah. So, and then he posts a picture of the rolling droid and says Jar Jar Binks' days as the worst Star Wars character ever are coming to a close. Which I completely
that droid
disagree.
is like the worst part. Not like for people who hate the trailer, that droid is the worst part. Because they're all like, that's stupid. It's just a soccer ball with a head on top.
We don't know. I mean, we have no idea.
You have no idea what that is. That could be a 2-second thing. Just a droid rolling across the screen. And Abrams... So, I noticed something about this trailer. Abrams is showing you the new and then leading into the old. It starts out with the stormtrooper popping up.
Without his helmet.
Yeah, with the
First time we've
African-American.
actually seen a stormtrooper without a helmet.
Maybe.
Well,
I'm
not counting the prequels.
Well, no, I still hold that it might be somebody wearing a stormtrooper outfit.
Okay. Yeah, like a
Luke style. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you see the new character driving kind of a new style speeder. The new droid. Woo. My voice. I'm going through maturity.
You're Yodaing right now.
You see the new stormtroopers. You see the X-Wings, which are old and new at the same time.
And awesome.
And really cool.
Really awesome.
Surprisingly well done. Scott, you pointed out that the thing you like the best about it is that they actually affect the environment around them.
Yes.
They don't just fly
So
through
in all the other Star Wars, every time a ship flies through an atmosphere on a planet or across something or in front of something, there is no. It doesn't affect
Yeah.
the atmosphere at all.
Yeah.
So when the X-wings are flying across the water and they're spinning up trails of water behind them.
Yeah.
Which, that would actually happen. They've got engines. Engines cause turbulence and they cause stuff to happen. The Millennium Falcon shows up at the very end and does this huge loop-de-loop and almost crashes into the sand and levels out. And while it's doing the loop, you can see vapor trails coming off of it, just like airplanes do. Heat mixes with, different temperature air and it causes trails, which, that's cool. And Abrams does that kind of stuff. He did it with Star Trek Into Darkness because the old Star Trek movies did the same kind of thing. Anytime they were in a planet, it was just completely silent and, there was no interaction with the atmosphere at all.
Yeah.
And in the new ones, the ship comes out of the water and bursts through the water, makes all this noise, and it's, a lot of air moving and stuff. Which is, it's real. It's more real.
It's actually, it feels like that thing is there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting to at the end. I mean, you see the new lightsaber, which, I think a lot of people are like, oh,
I'm sorry, but that was the coolest part for me when he
pulls out
this lightsaber. It lights up like normal, and you're like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, two little ones perpendicular light up.
In like a cross guard.
Yeah, like a cross guard, like an old style sword.
Yeah.
Old big claymore or two-handed sword. And I was just like, holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would think that's not cool. I mean, and then come to find out, Corey does a lot of research on it and finds out that that's an actual.
It's called a cross guard lightsaber.
Yeah, it's an old school Jedi weapon.
Not many Jedi use it. Not many Sith use it either. I think usually it's one cross guard to protect, but two is possible.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And then I went further down that rabbit hole and found out there's a whip that's a lightsaber too.
A lightsaber whip?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then it ends with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh.
And then right into the Star Wars music.
Yep.
The opening music.
And this is going to be the definitive proof on who is excited about this. My wife, who hates sci-fi movies.
Yep.
Like, you cannot believe
we have to drag her to sci-fi.
Like, she saw at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, she said, that was a fine movie, but it's not my thing. I'm not a sci-fi person.
Got done with Interstellar, and first thing she says is, that was so long.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have to kind of promise, if you go to this sci-fi movie with us, we'll go to
a horror movie with you later.
Well, Corey will go to a horror movie with you later. And I'll go along if it's not a horror movie, because I don't want to see gore porn.
Yeah. But even she, when she saw the Millennium Falcon and the music kicked up and she sees it flying and doing sweet maneuvers, better maneuvers than in any other Star Wars with the Millennium Falcon. Yep. Mind you, not just listing lazily to the left here.
Yeah.
She went, that got me pumped up. That got me excited for it. And hearing that music swell and hearing that. And
so we have plenty of time to rewatch this over and over and over again because it comes out in 2015.
Yeah, a whole year away.
Does it come out in December?
In December.
2015?
Yep.
Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was like May.
Yeah, and
but then again, we have Ultron to look forward to. Age of Ultron to come out in May. So we've got enough movies to tie this over.
We should be okay. We should be okay.
Even the next Mockingjay will come out next year.
Oh yay!
And I'm excited for it.
I'm not.
I'm excited.
I'm still like, it's not the franchise isn't grabbing me, but that's just me.
Corey's a book snob.
I'm not a book snob.
So much better.
I'm not a book snob. like the books were good, but this is just like.
Jennifer Lawrence reacts to stuff.
Exactly.
You want to see how she reacts to the next
I know how she's
movie?
going to react. Bad things happen, she reacts badly. She's not going to throw me for a loop, and when something bad happens, she laughs at it. Okay?
Well, maybe.
That'd be great.
Maybe
I'd watch that movie.
Maybe she just snaps and goes crazy at the end, and everything is like, oh, her head got chopped off. Ha ha ha! Oh, that's funny. And she's like slapping the table, and everyone else is looking at her going, you're messed up, girl.
You're weird.
Eesh.
All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about this. Oh, one more thing. Felicia Day says it's good.
Oh yeah. She's not really one to post about trailers, but there's a geek throw out to Felicia Day. She's kind of like the geek queen.
She is kind of geek queen.
She's the queen
Like
of the geeks.
there are beautiful women in sci-fi and fantasy shows that are considered geek royalty, but I think Felicia Day is kind of queen of the geeks.
She is queen of the geeks because she's one of those people that she's a true-blooded geek.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything she does is geeky stuff, and there's not, there's not. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, girls can't be geeks, because we know plenty of geek girls.
My wife is a geek girl.
We've got a lot of friends that are geek girls and stuff, and that's great. But a lot of them from like movies and stuff, it seems like they get these parts and they play the geeky part, and then they don't really geek out too much later.
Yeah,
but
not
Felicia
really.
Day does.
She's just like
She's the geek. She's the queen of the geeks. And who's the king of the geeks? Corey?
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I don't think there's anyone else that can.
Chris Hardwick can kind of come close. He's been kind of getting more popular lately, but Will Wheaton has been a part of geekdom since his childhood. So
Yeah.
like, and I'm not talking like, oh, he was into geeky things for his childhood. No, he was in geekdom for his childhood. Okay,
That's where he started. He was born into geekdom.
yep, born into geekdom.
Yeah, or like born into royalty.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna move on. But if you want to watch a Star Wars trailer, go watch it. You can also watch the super lens flare version of the Star Wars trailer. You can watch the George Lucas version of the Star Wars trailer.
There's a lot of them.
There's a whole lot of them out there. There's a whole lot of memes. It's just like it is taking over the internet. I have seen nothing on my Facebook feed other than 5 things we wish we would have seen from the Star Wars trailer, 5 things we're glad we didn't see from the Star Wars trailer, 5 things that we noticed about the Star Wars trailer that you may not have, that kind of stuff. And it's just like every post from my comic book websites or my nerd
Star Wars
websites
stuff.
is all Star Wars right now.
Hopefully, it doesn't burn us out.
Yeah, hopefully.
But then
not.
again, we thought the same thing about Avengers 2.
That's
Age of
true.
Ultron,
That's true.
And it, ever since Star Wars came out, has kind of gone away. We haven't seen much about it.
In fact, we didn't even start the episode with Dawn of Justice or Age of Ultron news because there isn't any. Because they maybe they had something in the bag and Star Wars came out and they went, just wait like a month, please. We're not going to get any attention right now.
And if you don't like it, we want to know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious. What about it is bugging you? What are you not excited for? Is there something in the trailer that throws you off or you're confused about? Let us know. Send us a comment on Facebook. Send us an email.
Yeah.
Shoot
we'll
us
give
a
you
tweet,
everything at the end.
and
We're making you
we'll
listen
do
to
that.
the whole thing.
And William Shatner, it's great that he's trying,
Yeah.
but here's a guy who hasn't really been relevant for like 40 years.
Yeah, trying to stay relevant.
And I think he has a bone to pick with J.J. Abrams because I don't think that J.J. wanted him in the new
I'm sorry,
redos of Star Trek.
I wouldn't either. Nope.
Yeah. I heard he's kind of a jerk to work with.
Yeah.
So
So there you go.
maybe I didn't catch his panel 2 Comic-Cons ago.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how he was.
We went in there. I think we went in there for like a minute.
Oh yeah, and it was not.
It wasn't hardly full at all. There was plenty of room to sit down, and he was
Although
talking.
Leonard Nimoy's was packed.
I did not even know that.
Yeah,
and he was Skyping too.
Yeah, he was Skyping in. He wasn't even there, and it was completely full from what I heard.
It's because Leonard Nimoy embraces the fans. Shatner pushes them away.
Yep. It's kind of like what's Tim Allen space movie, kind of like Star Wars, right?
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
So just like Galaxy Quest, Tim Allen loves the fans. He gets into it.
His character, not
His character.
Yeah.
His character.
Yeah.
And he gets into it, and he loves the fans, and he's great. And that's kind of like what Nimoy does. And but then the other people from Galaxy Quest TV show, they don't like this stuff. And they're like, I'm tired of being a B-grade actor because I'm stuck in this show or whatever.
I would actually say that Tim Allen's character is more Shatner-like because he loves the attention, but he doesn't really care for the fans.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
sure, but at least he tries. Shatner doesn't seem to even try sometimes.
that's true. Yeah,
someone asks him questions, and
we're gonna get a word from his lawyer after this.
I don't care. I'll tell his lawyer what I think about Shatner. Doesn't bother me.
Tell me more. I need a little bit more of your opinion on
I'll read it
Shatner.
on the podcast next time. Cease and desist letter. Do not talk about my client. And I'll be like, I'm talking about him right now.
Tell me about it. What you gonna do? Sue ya?
Probably. He's got a lot
ya.
of money. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to a little bit of Wonder Woman news. The Wonder Woman movie is coming out.
Did they replace Gal Gadot with someone
Nope.
who's actually going to look
Nope.
like Wonder Woman?
Nope.
Dang it.
Sorry.
I'm crossing my fingers, keeping hopes up that they will replace her and refilm
Just
everything
don't.
that she's in.
Just don't. Just don't even
Okay.
try. But they did get a director, Michelle McLaren, who has directed several. She's produced a lot, and she's directed several episodes of Game of Thrones.
Do we know which episodes of Game of Thrones?
Or
The Walking Dead?
It has it on the list of stuff, and Breaking Bad, by the way. Walking Dead, Breaking Bad episodes, but I didn't write them down.
Oh, okay. Because I was curious to see,
If they were like the good episodes or if they were bad episodes.
just putting on there, they directed a Game of Thrones episode or Walking Dead episode. She could have directed all of season 2 of Walking Dead,
Ooh.
and I would have been like, oh no,
No,
yuck.
oh, they're gonna spend all of the time.
Wonder
on
Woman's going to be on a
Themyscira.
farm. That's not even her. That's not even her mythos. That's
Yeah.
Superman, and they're going to put her on a farm.
It's just gonna be her day at the Kent farm.
Yeah, with Mom Pa Kent.
Yep.
Okay,
Are
cool.
you sure Clark's gonna be?
What else has she
back
done?
soon?
Has she done
Oh,
any?
yes, dear.
Has she done any movies?
No, it's all TV,
All
show
TV?
stuff.
Uh,
But
so is the movie gonna look like a TV show?
I don't know.
Because I mean, there's a total difference between the two.
True.
And you can tell really easily. Here's an example: Hercules versus Hercules that came out last year or this year.
Oh yeah.
Is it this year? Last year. Anyways,
Yeah.
So you got the one with
two
the Rock,
Hercules. Yep.
which
looked
looks
like
like
a
an
movie.
actual movie. It had real production value. And then the other one, which stars who knows who, I can't remember the guy's name, looks like a TV movie. And it's bad. It looks bad.
Yeah.
Like just from the trailer, you can tell the production quality is way low.
I heard it was bad. too, so.
And the cinematography style is TV style rather than movie, and yeah. So hopefully she knows how to do a movie.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out
I guess.
in a couple of years. We also have that X-Men Apocalypse has cast its villain.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Oscar Isaac, who is pretty unknown right now. He was Prince John in Russell Crowe's Robin Hood.
Don't remember that.
He was in the movie Drive as somebody called Standard.
Don't remember that. Never saw the movie.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the upcoming Star Wars movie in an unspecified role.
Okay.
So he may have
What's
chops.
a picture of him?
Oh,
You have a
let me,
picture of him?
Yeah, we'll pull up a picture here. I didn't see anything else that he would be in that you would know him from,
Yeah.
but that's who he is.
Okay. I mean, I recognize his face.
Yeah.
But I don't. I thought Tom Hardy was going to be Apocalypse.
no, he was rumored to be Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Because what happens is these actors get famous, and then everybody on the internet just starts throwing them at every role. Because Tom Hardy was up for Doctor Strange, too. You know
he
that,
wouldn't.
right?
He
Yeah.
wouldn't make a good Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So there you go. Apocalypse. Awesome. We got our villain, which you
Cool.
you
Is that
watched,
next year or 2016? Do we know?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah, I think next year's the Deadpool movie.
Is it?
Maybe.
Who's doing it again?
Bryan Singer,
Okay.
the
Awesome.
person who did Days of Future Past and everything. So,
Good. Good.
Yeah.
They're not replacing him with someone else.
all right, Scout. We started the episode with super awesome Star Wars Mega Ultra. Yeah, fun time. Now let's go into the Fantastic Four synopsis that got revealed for the movie.
Okay. I have not heard this or read it.
All right, so The Fantastic Four, a contemporary reimagining of Marvel's original and longest-running superhero team, centers on four outsiders who teleport to an alternate and dangerous universe which alters their physical forms in shocking ways. Their lives irrevocably upended, the team must learn to harness their daunting new abilities and work together to save Earth from a former friend turned enemy.
So they go to another universe, alternate universe.
Which is in line with the Ultimate storyline where they go to the negative zone and get their powers there.
rather than from cosmic rays from space.
Yep. What I don't like is the word reimagining
Yep.
in there.
Which means it's new, like not. It's going to be something completely different from what we're used to.
Yeah. And then the word outsiders. For young outsiders, which could mean Oh, I really hope it's not Reed Richards and his people are like the kids in high school who nobody likes, and then they get these powers.
Yeah, because Reed Richards was a scientist and an inventor long before he became Mr. Fantastic.
Yep. So
Johnny Storm was a stuntman.
Yeah.
Ben Grimm was a pilot. Mm-hmm.
And
Sue
Susan
Storm
was a
nothing really.
woman.
Was Johnny's sister.
Yeah.
It's kind of her only
No,
claim to fame.
she's actually a business something or other.
She's one of my least favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, I don't really care for her.
I've never liked her, and we talked about this a while ago.
Yes,
too.
we have. Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go,
Fantastic
Scott.
Four just don't really.
And knowing that Doctor Doom is a computer hacker just makes me not like this movie more and more.
Yeah.
If the trailer can hook me, though.
And when does that come out?
I'm sure it's they've finished filming, so maybe next year or the year after.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. August 7th next year.
Okay.
So, kind of the slow time.
I don't know. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy.
True.
Don't put it in August because that's supposed to be the slow time, but
the Guardians of the Galaxy is a completely different monster.
that's true. That's true.
We also have that Guillermo del Toro, Guillermo, however you say his name.
The Collector.
Yeah. No, that's Benicio del Toro.
They're brothers, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep. Something like that. Well, regardless of who or who not is the Collector, Guillermo del Toro.
Some del Toro. Are they brothers?
I don't know. I don't think so. I just think they have.
Sure,
last
why
name.
not?
There's a lot of del Toros out there, Scott.
Okay.
I guess.
That's the only two I've ever heard of.
But the director one came out and released some information about Pacific Rim 2 that I found very interesting.
We loved Pacific Rim 1.
Oh, yes. Absolutely loved
Pacific Rim 1, The Awakening.
Yep.
The Kaiju's Awaken.
The Kaiju begins.
Yes.
Guillermo said that number 2 is going to take place a couple years after number 1 ends. So people have had time to experience life without kaiju again. And then the question is, what happens to Jaeger technology after kaijus are gone?
Okay.
So I'm hoping that we get to see robots fighting robots too.
Ooh, like in big battles or something.
Yep. Like whole wars are decided by Jaeger. Like just 2 Jaegers meeting together.
Interesting. Interesting.
And then he also said that the only characters that we know, at least, that are returning are Charlie Day's character and Bern Gorman's character.
The scientist dudes.
Yep, the scientists.
Yeah.
Which
Charlie Day is he's hilarious.
yeah, and he said that those were his favorite characters to write and the funnest that he had writing.
The ones that actually had the best personalities.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and he said other than Hannibal Chow, but that's just for me.
Hannibal Chow.
Ron Perlman's character.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's who it is. But I mean, it could be Ken Watanabe or something.
Oh, let them fight.
Before every kaiju arena battle.
Let them fight. Brilliant.
Yes.
Let's make this
Del
happen.
Toro, if you're listening,
Send us money.
or if your brother's listening as well, send
Hi,
us,
Benicio.
send us some money, or put in some credit tags for us at the end of the movie. The Del Toro brothers.
The Del Toro brothers. That sounds like a C-SPAN show.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Uh-oh. Constantine.
Yeah, so it didn't get picked up for a back end, which means they get their 12-episode run or 13-episode run, and that's it.
Then they get canceled.
Well, it's not canceled. It's just they didn't get picked up for the other half of the season.
Technically, it's canceled if it doesn't get picked up.
Yes, but there is still a possibility of a second season.
You mean a second half of the first season?
No, like a second season.
I was super excited for this to come out. Heard some reviews, and they weren't great. People were like, it was okay. Watched a few episodes. Not really.
I like
not
it.
really digging it too much.
I like it, actually. it's one of my.
You and your wife,
Yeah.
you and your wife both like it, but
It's-
it's right up your guys' alley. The horror,
Exactly.
you know, that kind of stuff.
I think I just like it for Constantine's character. He is exactly what Constantine should be.
No, and I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
The character casting that they did for him, awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic.
perfect.
The guy does a great job. And they started. I noticed in the one episode we watched this recently, like number 3 or 4. There's a lot of him playing with cigarettes, or like he
getting
comes on
ready to
screen
light
and he's
them.
put it down, or he gets ready to light him. They don't actually show him smoking.
They did in one of the episodes we haven't
really?
seen. Yep.
Oh.
They finally showed him smoking. and
Good,
so,
because that's his character.
Yeah, and
that's
they're-
one of his things is he is a chain smoker.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't I'm not trying to advocate smoking here.
Nope.
I'm just saying
Smoke.
that is his character though. That's they talk about it a lot in the comics. They show it a lot in the comics. I mean, that's him. I'm sorry. That's there's no
puts
way
out
around
one
it.
cigarette, lights another one
Pretty
up.
much. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
because-
wouldn't you have some kind of vice if you were doing nothing but like sending demons back to hell every day, all day?
something to
and got
calm you
see
down.
some crazy
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, you'd have a vice.
Something that would calm your nerves, quote unquote. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So apparently the fans have started I can't speak today.
A Pacific
Pacific
petition.
petition to save Constantine. So if you want to go try and find out where that is and whatnot, you can. But really, the way to save the show is to watch it and get people interested in watching it.
Yeah,
Because
because they go off ratings. I'm sorry, that's
and
it.
I wish we have the technology now where we don't have to do the stupid Nielsen ratings or Nielsen families anymore. I'm
Which are
sure.
those? Which, if you're a Nielsen family, it is a box that you connect to your TV and basically it just reports back that says, "Hey, they were watching this at this time on this day."
Yeah.
And the dumb thing is it's maybe 1,000 households
Yeah.
or 100,000 or however many they have. I'm sure it's probably like 100,000, but
and each box is supposed to be like 1 million people, quote unquote.
And so that's ridiculous
demographic.
because I'm sorry, America, you have terrible tastes
Yep.
in TV shows and movies.
Hence why 2.5 Men got so many seasons,
I mean,
or American Idol got so many seasons.
pretty much every
Reality
reality
show?
show out there gets crazy amounts of seasons. 'cause
Judge
they
shows.
yeah.
I have the worst hate for judge shows. You have no idea.
That's because when you worked, that's the only thing that was on TV.
It was either that or 1950s TV. I watched 1950s TV.
Yeah.
And my wife loves judge shows. Like, she loves watching the stupid people.
I can't stand them. I hate them too.
Because people are just dumb.
Yeah,
on those
well,
shows.
hence America's terrible taste in TV.
Well, there we go. But yeah, get people to watch Constantine. Watch it harder. If there is a Nielsen family out there, you can't tell people you are, right?
I have no idea. I've never looked up like the particulars about it. Now
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look it up after the
Because
show.
that would be
'cause
really interesting.
it'd be like he signed like a non-disclosure agreement.
If that's the case, because, I mean,
You could be
people
bribed. Oh man, that'd be cool.
Exactly. If people knew who you were, they could come up to you and be like,
I probably wouldn't be a good
watch
Nelson
this.
family then because it would be comic book shows.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And if
no, you would be a good Nielsen family then.
well for us,
Yeah, for
I'd be good
us,
for
yeah.
us. I'd be good for the geeks.
I don't
out
care
there.
about anybody else.
Right. I don't care anyone else's. Whatever. But I could be bribed really easily, and they were like, "Watch Gotham instead of this show, and I'll give you cookies." And I'd be like, "Done. I've already set it to start up."
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we got one last thing for you today. This news came out last week, before last week's podcast, but I didn't get it in time to put it on the list and kind of forgot about
That's
it.
okay. It will be mentioning it until
Yeah, because we did it with the last one. But Salt Lake Comic-Con has announced their FanX experience again, which is their dedicated more towards the celebrity side Comic-Con rather than just the vendor and the bigger Comic-Con, which is the regular one in September. Last year it was in April when I was getting married, so we didn't go, and we didn't
have tickets. We didn't really care.
Yeah, it wasn't grabbing us like regular Comic-Con does.
Yeah, neither of us are really that much into the fans. I think your wife
into the celebrities.
Sorry, into celebrities. I think your wife's the one that's into the celebrities. I don't really care.
We don't really sit on many panels when we go to Comic-Con. Most of our time is spent walking around, looking at the cool art, and talking with the artists. Like we're big into talking with the artists or creators, and content creators and everything.
We spent probably 60% of the time
in Artist Alley.
In Artist Alley, talking with comic book artists, podcasters, just random people that just did random art, like just chatting with them and telling them how much we like their stuff.
And showing appreciation.
Because as content creators ourselves, which I mean, you have to admit we are.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
make
are now.
podcasts. We love that stuff. We love when someone comes up to us and says, "Hey, I listen to your podcast and I have a lot of fun. I like it." And we're all like, "Yes, great, sweet.
Yeah, we're doing something.
It means we're doing good, even if it's one person. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if it's as long as we're making one person happy.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
One of my happiest times on the podcast is our first like to the page that neither of us knew.
Yeah,
like Idaho guy. Idaho guy. If you're listening, first of all, your picture is amazing with you riding on one of those spring horses. Like it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yep.
But Idaho guy, you rock. If you are listening, we love you, Idaho guy.
He's our official Idaho geek.
Yeah. He's the Idaho listener.
He's the mayor. He's the geek mayor of Idaho.
Geek mayor of Idaho. So we have Geek Queen King now. Geek mayors.
We're just gonna we'll do everything. Geek Dukes, Geek Earls.
Yep. Mostly people named Earl.
Yep. You're a Geek Earl.
Geek Earl. If you say it really fast, kind of sounds like Geek Girl.
A lot of times we'll get likes on the podcast page, and I'll be like, "Who is this?" And Corey will be like, "I don't know. Let me check." Oh, that's a friend of like 4 friends down the line, a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah,
that liked our page, and I'm like, "Yes, awesome! It's getting out there to people."
Yeah. You again tell 10 of your friends to like our page,
and they'll tell 10 friends, and that'll be like
20 people right there,
like 10 people.
So FanX is coming this year, January 29th through the 31st.
Okay, first of all, that's way too early.
That is super early.
Just got done with Comic-Con.
And not to mention, you just got done with Christmas shopping at this point.
I have no money.
I won't have any money either.
My budget is completely dried up until way after Christmas.
Yeah, until
usually
maybe
taxes.
April or
usually taxes.
Yeah, usually tax time.
But yeah,
that
too early. April or May would have been fine.
Yep.
End of April would have been great.
Yeah.
I probably still wouldn't have gone just because I have no real interest.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
meeting
it's
celebrities. I like meeting celebrities. No, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
to meet Christopher Lloyd, to meet William Shatner. That's fine. However, it's when it's like $20 to meet them, $30 for an autograph, $50 for a photograph, and $70 for a photograph and an autograph, and it's like, what? No,
I'm sorry, celebrities. You're awesome, but we're not paying that much.
$70 can buy me like 10 posters in Artist Alley.
Yep.
It can buy me 7 Funko Pops.
It could buy me a prop weapon.
Yeah, there's just, to me, there's way better things to spend your money on.
Yeah,
and I mean, I saw how much your wife spent on getting autographs for her family. I mean, they all requested them from her because it wasn't just her, but total amount of just autographs from people from Buffy. They're not even that big of
they're not that big a deal.
And
it's like $250.
Yeah. And there was like, what, 4 autographs total?
Yeah,
with pictures.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
4.
And it was like Elijah Dushku
and Charisma Carpenter.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It wasn't even Leonard Nimoy.
I guarantee you, though,
it wasn't.
If there's certain characters that are gonna go to FanX, Casey might want to go. So
yeah,
well, we might have stuff in the works too. So
that's true.
We might be there in an official capacity,
in an official podcast capacity.
Yeah,
podcastity.
Keep hoping for us.
Podcastity.
Podcastity. But they did announce a bunch of celebrities going. So like we did with Salt Lake Comic-Con, we're going to keep you up to date with the latest things that are coming from FanX and everything, because why not? It gives us a little bit of an extra plug if they have people listening because they're waiting for FanX news. So far, the first four that were announced together: Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter, he's going, which is going to be cool. I know we have some Harry Potter fans out there. So, Carrie Fisher, she did this little thing called Star Wars.
Yeah, she was this small like character on the screen for a short little while.
I think she sold cinnamon rolls or something.
I don't know. Her name was like Leah.
Yeah,
Leia.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I know she was like a princess or something.
Yeah. Apparently, she doesn't like talking about Star Wars at all, though.
Again,
so
she's William Shatnering.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carrie Fisher.
You know what? Carrie Fisher's an awesome person. Like, she does a great part in Family Guy. She plays Peter's boss in the brewery.
That's right.
And she does an amazing part there. And she actually like, she doesn't do anything else related to Star Wars since the show came out. Like, she's okay. I think she's okay talking about it, but she didn't do anything until she got contracted for Episode 7, except for Star Wars, the Family Guy one, the third installment. She actually played a part in there.
But you know what, Carrie, we love you for being in Star Wars and for doing Family Guy stuff. But Star Wars is where all your fans come from.
Yeah, sorry.
Otherwise,
actually, she's been good in pretty much everything she does.
I don't. What else has she been in besides those two?
The Burbs. She was really funny in The Burbs.
No idea what that is.
Yeah,
what next?
It's a comedy. That's all I can think of.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
we have
Carrie
to
Fisher, we love you.
I'm sorry, we love you, but stop doing this. This is why if we ever gain celebrity status, if I ever become where I do not want to talk about my Acts of Geekery podcast because it was the first thing I did and I'd rather be known for something else, punch me right in the face.
I will.
In front of everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go, what the heck was that for?
And you're going to say, episode 21, B.
Number like timestamp 42 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go, oh, yeah, that's right. I told you to.
So Marina Baccarin is also
Morena.
Yeah.
Morena. Morena Baccarin. She has played the villain in Stargate SG-1. She plays
the villain in V.
She plays a villain in V, the Queen.
She's
Queen
Black Canary in the Justice League Animated. And, of course, she's Inara in Firefly.
Yep.
Another Firefly character.
Everything she's been in, she's great in. I love her to death.
Yeah.
Yay, Morena.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Christopher Lloyd is...
Great Scott!
He's probably coming back because he had to cancel for Salt Lake Comic-Con.
I know. That was one I actually was tempted to get a photograph with him and an autograph where he wrote Great Scott on it because, I mean, come on, it's my name.
But then he canceled.
Yeah.
So this might be the whole reason they're moving it to January. It was like, we can get Christopher Lloyd if we do it in January.
Ralph Macchio?
Yeah, Ralph Macchio. He wasn't one of the original four announced, but he's been announced later on.
The Karate Kid.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. Or no, he's the other guy. He's not Johnny. He's Karate Kid. He's wax on, wax off.
I don't know.
You don't remember the Karate Kid movie?
Not really.
I've never seen it.
I know. I've seen the only one I remember is the one with Jaden Smith, the newer one, with him and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
And then we talked about her earlier.
And of course,
the Queen of the Geekdom, Felicia Day.
Yes.
I
might go for that.
Honestly, that
I might go to say hi and
shake her hand,
give her an official geek card.
Absolutely.
We need to make if we do it, we'll have to make one up though. That's
bronzed.
No. We'll just have to write on it in magic marker, Queen of the Geeks.
Queen of Geeks. Yeah, but so that's who's been announced so far. We'll keep coming out with it. I mean, and here's the thing: is they announced it in November. They have December and January to announce the rest of their guests.
If they even get them. I mean, that's short notice.
Super short. So, Salt Lake Comic-Con Fanex, we love you because we want to come to you.
Yeah, and
we'd like the official capacity that you might be able to provide us.
And we like the fact that there's now a Comic-Con here in Utah, rather than
Yep, you guys are doing a great job with Salt Lake Comic-Con. It's bigger than pretty much anything.
Yep.
This is kind of early, guys.
I have a feeling they're going to do a FanX in January, and in June or July, they're going to come out with something else.
Oh.
Comic-Con Reloaded, or and I'm
Remix.
like, and it's like no.
No.
I'm one a year. One a year pretty much burns me out.
Yeah.
On Comic-Con, 3 days of nonstop walking around, dealing with people, crowds, sweaty geeks.
Yep.
And that's us, not everyone else.
Just stay away from us.
Stay away from us.
It's better that way.
unless you like it. I mean, some people do, but whatever. And it burns me out, and that's why FanX last year. FanX, I didn't go because I was just like, I'm done. I've had enough already, and I'm still recuperating from September.
Yeah.
And I still am financially, physically, emotionally.
I mean, you saved up all year for September's Comic-Con.
Yeah, I take a chunk.
Year.
I take a chunk of money every month, and I dump it away and put it into my.
So you can
Comic-Con.
basically go there with no limit.
Yep, I can
or
go,
very little limit.
I can go and I can be like, I've got $1,000 to spend, and I can buy pretty much whatever I want or need there, and not think twice about it.
But
and I'm drained, guys.
This is 3 months. Come on, we can't save enough.
My wallet is so empty. There's actually a vacuum in it. I open it and it starts sucking stuff in. Yeah, like. I open it up and Post-it notes come flying across the desk into it, 'cause it needs more.
Scott's wallet is a black hole, apparently.
It's a singularity inside the wallet.
All right. Well, we don't have any reviews this week. We did get in. I don't know if you guys saw the Facebook post, but we got in season 1 of Star Trek, which is awesome. But we've kind of been hooked up and caught up in Attack on Titan and Sword Art Online right now.
Yeah. Who would have known?
Yeah. 2 animes. Well, I should say this. You and my wife are hooked on Attack on Titan. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
I am not, like, I am still like 50-50.
And you are hooked on Sword Art Online. And,
beautiful show.
And we're along for the ride.
Yeah. Well, no, you like it too.
I like it, but you like Attack on Titan too.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't.
All
I
right.
mean,
All right.
we're gonna
Fine.
split hairs on
All
this.
right. So no reviews this week because we haven't watched season 1 yet or anything like that.
And there wasn't really a movie this week that we were excited to go
really.
see. What's next week? I don't even know.
I will have to look it up.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into trailers and videos.
What was that? Did you see that? Was that the primary buffer panel?
It did seem to
Did
resemble...
the primary buffer panel just fall off my gram shift and no bear?
Looks like.
I thought Katie just checked the entry code.
Yeah,
I
well,
have
if
a
she
very
doesn't give
clear
us some
memory.
extra flow from the engine room to offset the burn through, this landing is going to get pretty interesting.
Define interesting.
Oh God, we're all going to die?
This is the captain. We have a little problem with our entry sequence, so we may experience some slight turbulence and then explode.
So we're going to start off by telling you basically the Star Wars 7 trailer again. Obviously, it's got to go here as well as the news.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
go watch it.
pretty
We've
much.
already talked a ton about it. Let's not spend
not
another
dilly-dally.
20 minutes on
Yeah.
it here.
But let's talk about the other trailer that came out that kind of blew everybody out of the water. The Jurassic World.
Yes.
And the teaser came out and they're like, we're going to release it during a football game. And then 2 days before the football game, they come out and release it on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know why during a football game, because who cares about football?
No, nobody cares about football,
No,
Scott.
they don't. I know.
No, it's
No one in America cares about football, right? No one. Just like no one in the world cares about soccer.
nope.
But Jurassic World. First impression,
I got excited.
I was nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds you, and well, first of all, I saw the meme. Who the heck thought reopening the park would be a good idea, or trying that idea again would be a good idea?
I don't know.
So, but you get to see some cool dinosaurs. Casey was not too thrilled to find out they were CG instead of more practical.
It's probably easier to do a CG dinosaur that's that large versus
than a real
real
one. Yeah.
practical effects.
But she saw the part where the shark gets hung over the water and then the Leopleurodon jumps out. And,
It's I think they call it a megalodon is what it was.
I think a megalodon is actually a shark.
Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right. Anyways, it's like a giant crocodile.
Yeah, it's like a giant.
And it makes a great white shark
yeah.
look like a tiny little fish.
And it eats a great white shark.
Yeah, it jumps out of the water and eats it in front of a huge stadium
Crowd of people,
crowd.
and then
Yep.
it slams back into the water, and everybody
everyone.
gets in the splash zone,
Yep.
and da 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 da.
But then they go and they decide they're going to make a hybrid dinosaur.
And
even
the
Chris
decision,
Pratt.
the decision process goes like this: should we do some herbivores for our dinosaur?
No, herbivores are kind of boring.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
they
too
don't-
safe.
Yeah, they really
They don't
don't,
really kill anyone.
no.
Yeah.
Let's just take let's take the worst traits from every carnivore we can find.
Super intelligence
Yeah.
from a raptor and giant size of an allosaurus.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Wait, hold on. Before we go any further, let's make sure that its arms are longer because that really makes it even against all the other dinosaurs.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to have just huge normal arms.
Jurassic World scientists are stupid.
Jurassic movie scientists are stupid.
True.
So they talk about we built our first hybrid dinosaur ever, and even Chris Pratt's character,
You shouldn't have.
he goes,
made it.
"You made a new type of dinosaur. Yeah, you're probably not a good idea."
Yeah.
And you know what? He was right.
Yep. It goes on a rampage.
And then the island hits the fan.
Yep.
Basically.
And so the last part of the trailer is what is having everybody kind of either up in arms or confused because they let these raptors out of their cages, and then all of a sudden they're running alongside Chris Pratt on a motorbike as if they're trained and following him along.
They're running past him.
One of them runs past
One
him
runs
eventually.
way past him.
Yeah.
And you know what?
They aren't chasing him.
No, they're being chased by the hybrid, and they're running away. Raptors are like, nope, not going to get a part of this.
Which this might.
I don't know why that was
back-
confusing to the internet, but
Yeah.
it wasn't confusing to me at all.
I think it would be funny if he did train raptors for a living.
He's a raptor trainer. I don't.
He's
think
a
you
Raptor
can.
Wrangler.
I don't think you can. One thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is the raptors and T-Rex and pretty much all the dinosaurs that look like that. They're not covered in feathers.
Well, okay. So Jurassic Park has never been about. I mean, Jurassic
Scientific
Park started.
accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park started when dinosaurs were thought to still have reptile skin.
Right.
So if they went ahead and they just changed it in the middle, everybody's
Yeah,
going
everyone
to
would
be.
like, that's a little weird.
Yeah. Why do they have feathers now? Because the general population still thinks dinosaurs as these scaly hide
Yeah, that's
animals.
true.
So
That's true. Yeah, but
they had feathers.
they do have feathers. Or had
so
feathers. I guess they're all dead now.
I had this dream back when I was younger. It was a recurring dream that I used to have where I would be in a truck that had a machine gun on it, and we would be running from a Tyrannosaurus Rex and shooting at it. And then the truck would stall, and I'd have to get out into this different turret and shoot at the T-Rex until it got too close. And then the truck would start up, and I'd have to jump from the turret into the truck and repeat it all over again. Like, I'm not talking about...
Sounds like a terrible arcade video
Yes,
game.
it does. And I'm not talking about like the dream. I would wake up and then I'd fall back asleep and the dream would reset. I would literally do this stall, get in the turret, jump off like 3 or 4 times before I would wake up. And it would just terrify me because that T-Rex kept getting closer and closer, and there's no way to outrun something in your dreams, no matter how hard you try.
Apparently.
Yeah. So this might bring back that. So you won't have to deal with that. My wife will. Have to deal with me waking up in the middle of the night going, oh!
No, you'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, that was cool. Nowadays.
Yeah, true.
You're not 6 anymore. When did the original Jurassic Park come out? It was early 90s, wasn't it?
It was early 90s.
Yeah, you were
I was pretty
super young.
I remember we went and saw Jurassic Park 3 in the theater, and I was super excited because I love dinosaurs. And Jurassic Park 2 was cool. Like I didn't
which
realize.
one was... What was the... I can't even remember 2 and 3. I remember the first one, obviously.
So, number
it's got
2
Newman in it.
Yeah. Number 2 is the one with the compies, the little dinosaurs that jump on the little girl. And,
Oh, that's right. And they have the expedition that goes there with the giant...
and then the
Yep,
T-Rex ends up on the mainland. And then number 3 is the one that I don't really remember, it with Sam Neill, where they go back to the island years later, because halfway through the movie I walked out. Like that, like as a kid, well, I walked and I sat in the corridor. for a little bit, and
because it was too scary.
Yeah, it was too intense because it was loud and there's
We should watch it again.
dinosaurs. Yeah, we should. And then I came back into the theater and I closed my eyes and plugged my ears.
You won't do this one on Jurassic World. I'm pretty sure you'll
Nope.
be like, dinosaurs, I love
Yeah,
them.
I'll just be like,
stop
oh,
watching."
that scared me. That was so cool. We also saw a trailer for a Christmas special coming out. I think this week, actually. I think it's coming out pretty soon for the Toy Story time that toys forgot or something like that.
Yeah.
is the title of it.
Yeah.
But it's a Toy Story short. They did Toy Story Story of Terror, Toy Story of Terror. For Halloween a couple years ago or last year, which I heard was pretty funny.
This one looks like Battle Royale.
Yeah, this one looks pretty funny. It's got a sock monkey in it, which is really cool. It's got a bunch of like lizard action.
There's a lot
figures.
of like arena fighting going on between toys, which is pretty cool because Rex, speaking of T-Rexes with big arms, Rex comes out with mechanical arms over his regular small arms.
Yes, to make
fight.
him longer.
Yep.
Absolutely cool. So go check that out. It's like 30 seconds, but it's still pretty funny. And it kind of
it's coming to ABC.
Yeah, and it kind of shows you that I'm sorry, Toy Story still is funny.
Yeah.
Like they can still make great stories and have it not be Andy. So for those of you naysayers out there for Toy Story 4,
here's
they
my
can still
problem.
do
Here's
it.
the problem with the naysayers. My problem with them.
Okay.
When I watched Toy Story, I couldn't care less about Andy.
It's true.
Or I mean, it doesn't. He's a very minor character, and I don't really care about him.
Yeah.
All I care about is toys.
Yeah. Could you relate Andy to God?
Yeah. I mean, if you stretched it far enough, sure.
Well, if you stretch anything, if you stretch anything far enough,
Although Andy is seen a lot, like you see his feet and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think in the Bible they ever had feet running
true.
around on the earth.
But I think like they're all trying to get to Andy, and they're trying to
Maybe
be the good toy.
I mean, I guess
because,
sure you can twist it that way.
Yeah. Like I said, you could twist a lemon to look like an apple. So
Yeah.
isn't that how the saying goes?
I don't know.
I
Apples to lemons,
Apples to lemons. Yeah.
oranges to watermelons. So whatever.
I thought it was oranges to dust. Apples to lemons, oranges to dust.
Dust to summer. Dust to summer.
Dust to summer.
And then, so the other trailer that I saw that actually I hadn't even heard of was Pan.
Yeah.
And here's what I thought about when I first heard it. It reminded the name, obviously. I thought of Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh,
and I was like, this is going to be a weird.
I thought you were going to say it's a movie about cookware.
No, that would be Pam.
Pam. Well, no, I was thinking like a pan.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Pam, like the cooking spray. But I thought it was going to be like a high fantasy, Del Toro style
Kind of high fantasy
movie. Yeah. But yeah, basically it's live action untold story of Peter Pan.
Yeah, like how he became Peter Pan and how Captain Hook became Captain Hook.
Because he's not Captain Hook, it's Blackbeard.
Yeah, Blackbeard is played by Hugh Jackman, which he was pretty good. I liked his thing.
I didn't even recognize him at first, and then you said, that's Hugh Jackman. I went, holy crap, yeah, it is.
Captain Hook is a miner called James Hook, and I'm sure that's going. And he, him and Peter Pan are working together.
And I was absolutely right. His mom
is Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, that's Mary.
Like Mary,
M-A-R. Yeah. Okay.
Is her name?
Whoa. Yes, Mary is her name.
Okay.
Wasn't Mary the oldest girl in Peter Pan, the animated?
No.
Wendy. That's right.
Mary. Mary has nothing to do.
Dang, I was thinking that if that was
you're
the
trying
case,
to turn an apple into an orange here.
And a watermelon.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so yeah, Amanda Seyfried's Mary.
His mom, basically.
Yep. Garrett Hedlund is Hook, and he seems really familiar. And it's because Tron Legacy, main character.
Oh, okay.
The kid.
All right, yeah.
They're the guy.
Gotcha.
That's why I was like, it looks familiar. Who is he?
All right, well, yeah, that's pretty much all the trailers. Star Wars came out and kind of shut everything else down.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't think they wanted to try to compete.
Nope.
However, there is one that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love Age of Ultron trailer. We watched it how many times?
Many
I can't
times.
even count.
I kind of want to watch the one that we're going to talk about again.
It's called The Age of Ultron Sweded. Sweded.
So
Sweden without the N. And there's
A
D
Sweded
instead.
trailer is a trailer that is low budget. Think, have you ever seen the movie Be Kind, Rewind?
No.
With Jack Black and Mos Def?
Wait, maybe I have.
In this movie, they accidentally wipe all of the VHS tapes that they have.
That's right, and they have to remake them all.
And they have to remake them all as people are requesting them. So they do these low budget adaptations that people love because they're funny and stupid and everything like that.
So this is the same thing.
This is kind of the same thing. It's called they're calling it Sweded movies, and it's taken kind of like they do trailers like this all the time where it's just low budget cardboard. You can clearly tell that like they put people in there like camera crew and everything in the picture and everything like that just because it's fun to do that.
And it basically recreates the entire Age of Ultron trailer, scene for scene, and it's hilarious.
It is
We
really
laughed
hilarious.
really hard
Yep.
when watching it. But I'll post links to that later this week.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
you
saw you
noticed
did that.
last week. I actually posted a bunch of the trailers.
That
and
makes
stuff.
it easier for our mini fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Our mini fan. We need to take a picture of our mini fans.
So let's go ahead and get into our topic.
Honey!
What?
Where's my super suit?
What?
Where is my super suit?
Put it away.
Where?
Why do you need to know?
I need it!
Don't you think about running off to doing no daring do? We've been planning this dinner for 2 months.
The public is in danger!
My evening's in danger.
You tell me where my suit is, woman! We are talking about the greater good!
Greater good. I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
Where is that super suit?
I don't know, but
Where does he find it? I don't know.
that's actually a good question. They
Yeah.
kind of just gloss over that.
Is it
so.
in the laundry? Is it in the closet? Is it boxed away in the attic? We'll never know.
We will never know. But you know what we will know? It's still November, Scott, and I kind of declared this Nostalgia November.
Yep.
We talked about video games that we loved growing up. So I thought this episode we could talk about TV shows that we loved growing up.
And by TV shows, we mean cartoons.
Yep, Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, because there wasn't really any TV shows as kids that we watched or cared
Boy
about.
Meets World, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
guess that's a good throwback.
So I'm going to start us off with just saying the one that comes to mind whenever I think about my childhood, and that is Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. The original.
Yep, the original.
Kanto series, I think they call it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. It's with Ash Ketchum.
And Brock and Misty.
Yep.
I don't know their last names.
I don't think they ever had them.
Well, I'm sure they did. We just don't know it.
The original 150 Pokemon from this is when Pokemon first came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I discovered this one morning getting ready for school. Because what would happen is Mom would wake me up early, I'd get ready, and I would turn on the TV for something like Tex Avery or Looney Tunes or Animaniacs would come on. All good cartoons, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good honorable mentions.
we'll put those down. And I was watching and I was like, what is this? And it was the first episode of Pokemon. And I was like, these Pokemon these animals are in balls and they fight each other. This seems really cool. And then I watched the second episode.
Your little 7-year-old brain kind of just exploded.
I watched the second episode, and then at that point, like you had already gone to school at these points, by the way. And at that point, I realized we needed to record it. And we recorded the third episode, which is the third episode, I believe, is the Bye Bye Butterfree episode.
I think so.
Where Ash's Pokemon turns into a Butterfree and then leaves him, and it was super sad and everything like that. It made my mom cry when she watched it with me. So
yeah, I mean, I remember watching Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I remember recording it on VHS and rewatching it and going over the. We sat and wrote down every Pokemon that came up on the Poke Rap,
yeah,
or whatever at the end. So because we were trying to get a list of all 150,
And we
this
got the
was long before they had like posters of them, and
which we got.
and even before the games came out. So we had a list of 150 Pokemon in no particular order.
Well, I think we eventually memorized them in order too.
Yeah, we did.
Like that's how into Pokemon we were.
Yeah, we were so into it.
Which,
we ended
you know.
up getting the games. We talked about games.
Yep, we got the trading card game. Didn't know how to play. We just bought the cards.
I played a bunch. We actually had a
Okay.
Pokemon club in junior high school.
Oh, wow.
And we would play the
we had a
cards
Magic
down
club
there.
in high school, so.
But played the game, and I'm talking like the Game Boy games. So we played those nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'd catch every Pokemon, beat the whole thing.
You got blue, I got red, and then I got yellow when it came out for the Pikachu one.
And then I got green, I think, when it came out.
Yeah, and then silver. I got silver. You got gold, or no? You got silver. I got
silver.
gold.
You got gold. Yeah.
And I remember that we used to get the opposite one so that we could trade the Pokemon that the other one didn't have.
Yeah, we would start a game and trade the Pokemon, and then just so we could each have them.
all of them. Yeah, because you had to catch them all. I'm sorry, there's no.
Oh, I'm a completist.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I don't have the money for it, but I'm a completist. I see a collection of something and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I can't end up buying one of them, and then pretty soon I have to buy them all. You know, and
All right, Scott, what do you got for me? What's your first choice?
Actually, I mean, I would have said Pokemon, but what comes to my mind, Digimon.
Digimon.
Because it came out pretty much right at the same time, roughly.
Yeah.
And I think it was about probably 6 months behind, but it was the same kind of thing. They were trying to capitalize on the Pokemon stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Digimon, which is up my alley because it's all digital world stuff.
Yeah.
It gets sucked into the computer, basically. And Digimon can evolve and transform into their higher forms.
Not as much of a variety as Pokemon, but still pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh my! And it was fun, and it was a lot of like crazy stuff that was happening too.
All right. Which had the better first movie, Digimon or Pokemon?
I don't remember the Digimon one.
You don't remember you remember the Digimon movie? Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I totally
Seriously,
remember it.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Why was I having trouble there for a second?
I don't know.
My brain's not working.
We literally quote that movie still.
Let's see. It's hard to pick because they're both freaking awesome. Even at 28 now, and I could still watch those movies over and over and over again. However, I think I'm gonna kind of split this up here. The best overall movie was Pokemon, the first one.
Okay, I'll agree
because
there.
of Mewtwo, my favorite Pokemon of all time, of course. And Mew, and then it also introduced a few new ones that we had never seen before.
Yeah.
And we went to the theater with those. I remember, Mom driving us to the theater. We'd go in and order the tickets, and you get a special card and the little golden plate as well with it. And those came out of the McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
When McDonald's actually had cool toys.
Yeah.
It was like the little golden card. It was actually a thick piece of metal. That was cool. I had a lot of fun at the Pokemon movie. The Digimon movie, I don't remember seeing it in theaters.
We did.
But I'm pretty sure we did. But I remember watching it a bunch afterwards.
The first third of the Digimon movie.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Blows Pokemon movie out of the water.
Yeah, the shorts, the two shorter sections of it, way better than the last 2/3 of it. I don't even remember the last 2/3, really.
I don't either. It's something to do with the real world or something like that.
Yeah, I remember the part with the little kids.
Yep. Where she's blowing on the whistle and they make the giant Digimon and then the whole digital cyber or internet thing. Back when the internet was new and you were like, let's do this stuff.
Yeah. And the internet battle. Oh, amazing. It's
so great.
It's so fun. And now I kind of want to go rewatch them.
Yeah.
I do remember the last, second, third.
Yeah.
Remember, it's where it's the new characters
That's
from
right.
Digimon, not the old characters, because they had the original
and Angel Woman.
They had the original characters.
Sorry, let's just take a moment and realize that their names were stuff like Angemon and Angel Woman.
Yeah.
Go on.
Agumon, War Greymon,
regular Greymon, Black War Greymon was the evil one.
And so,
jeez, why would we like this stuff as kids?
But I mean, a Squirtle.
Yeah. You're right.
Squirtle.
By the way, I have pictures to show you of Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander all dressed up like Link. And it's super cool.
Okay.
Like in his different, like Squirtle
You
is
mean
in the blue.
you don't
Link.
have to show me. You have our fans.
That's true. I
You're
have
gonna
to show.
our
I will
fans.
have to put those down.
Yeah, and so there's two series, I guess. There was the Digimon, the original one, which it had Tai and Sora was her name, or Cora? Sora, I think.
Sora.
Tai, Sora, the nerdy kid.
The nerdy. We don't know his name,
can't
but
remember
we
his
know
name.
we know he's the nerdy kid. And then the brothers, the older and the younger brothers.
Yeah, and that was the original crew, and then they had a new crew, which was like their cousins.
No,
or
it was
friends of theirs.
It was
or
Ty's younger sister,
something. Okay, yeah.
and it was the older brother in the original group. It was the younger brother again.
Okay.
And then they brought in new characters.
Yeah, and that's what the second half of the movie,
Yeah.
the second 2/3 of the
Yeah,
movie is.
it was kind of. It's the same as the Transformers movie. It was a changing of the guard of sorts. It's saying, here's the old characters that you love, and we killed them. So here's the new characters.
here's the
Except
new
for they didn't
characters.
kill anybody in Digimon. All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
Probably. Oh my gosh. Not only my favorite superhero animated show ever, but my favorite superhero animated show today, the Batman animated series. The prime example for like good storytelling in animated movies.
It was good. I'll give you that.
Like I
Batman's
watched,
not my favorite character,
Yeah.
so I'm not into it as much, but I
not my
still
favorite
enjoy
character either, but it's super good. And I know what you're gonna say. For your one of your better animated
it. Yeah,
is the opposite side of that.
but the cool thing is they are the world's finest.
Yep. So the Superman animated and the Batman animated shows were both really well done. In a time where cartoons were really limited by what they could show you, they made really good shows.
Superman animated was what mine. I don't know. I can't remember if you just mentioned.
I
it or not.
did
think you
just mention that.
Just mentioned it.
Yeah.
So Batman animated. Remember watching that a bunch. It
Yep.
was fun. The art style in it.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Also,
Super good.
Also, the origin of one of our favorite characters,
Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm.
Not only our favorite character, probably like the internet's favorite character.
That's true. The internet's favorite DC character. Also, the origin of
It's
Renee
like
Montoya too.
everyone
By the
wants, Everyone wants Harley Quinn and Deadpool to get together because they're the internet's favorite characters. They're you've got Marvel and DC.
If
And in
Marvel,
fact, they do
DC,
have
if you do a
they do have a
crossover.
crossover comic that someone drew.
Oh, really?
Where she said something and Deadpool goes, "I think I love you," and she goes, "What? Nothing. Just kill them," or something like that.
Yeah.
But those were fun. Speaking of limited in what they could do, Spider-Man.
Oh
animated
yeah,
series.
absolutely. In a time where you could not,
Couldn't even show broken glass.
yeah, broken glass. Nobody could say the word kill or die
Yep.
or anything like that. It had to be like eliminate him.
Yeah,
or-
incapacitate him.
Yeah, or something like that. Spider-Man couldn't hurt pigeons when landing on a roof or anything, which is a super. They couldn't show kids in danger at all. Like this was like the
Super
FCC
restricted.
cracking down. No blood, of course. Whenever Spider-Man got cut, it just cut his suit, and then later on they'd show him in bandages.
Speaking of bandages,
Yep,
who's our character? Who's our favorite character that gets in bandages all the time?
that would be Wolverine, of course.
Apparently, his healing factor only works when he wants it to.
Yep.
Because he's always bandaged up, and we're talking about the original X-Men series.
the
here.
1990s, which by the way does not hold up at all.
No. Oh, absolutely
you do
not.
do not go back and watch it.
Storylines, fantastic.
Art and animation, terrible.
Terrible art and animation, and the dialogue is bad.
Yeah. Everybody, it's like they wanted everybody to be from the 1800s, and
Apparently.
talk like that. But going back to the Spider-Man really quick, that series is one of my favorites and has one of the greatest endings because Spider-Man gets he teams up with all these alternate universe Spider-Mans. Okay, and one of them is a guy who's playing Spider-Man in a movie. And he's like, in my world, I'm not really. There's no such thing as superheroes. I'm just playing one on TV.
Nice.
And he takes. So at the end of the series,
So in other words, he's from
our Earth.
Our Earth.
So at the end of the series, the Madam Web takes the regular Spider-Man back to our Earth, Spider-Man's world, and has him meet Stan Lee at the end. Literally, Web swings him up onto a roof and says, I don't know why I'm like, why I'm the way I am. If it's because of you, thank you, and everything like that. But, just thank you. Like, he thanks Stan Lee in person, and then he leaves, and Stan Lee goes, wow, that was really something. I wonder if the Fantastic Four are going to show up so they can get me off this roof.
I have to go watch that episode because I do not remember it at all.
And it ends at such a terrible place because
However,
he's going to save
I don't
Mary
think
Jane.
the animation holds up very well in that.
No. That one has bad
But the
animation.
Batman animated and the Superman animated, for some reason, are just awesome.
They're great.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Bruce Timm does a great job with that.
He did both, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. He did both, and then he went on to do Justice League, which has awesome animation, which we didn't see when we were kids. That was a little bit after we started.
But we rewatched it.
Yeah.
Within it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
We watched we watched both Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah,
and they're both great. They're
Super
on
great
Netflix.
shows. Yeah.
If you haven't watched them, go watch them. They're fantastic.
That's your assignment, fans.
Yeah.
Go watch them.
And we'll tell this many times. DC makes way better animated than Marvel, and this is not a fanboyish thing.
Nope.
This is pure fact.
Pure fact. Like, you put them side by side, and people will watch the DC one.
Yeah. So
in fact, we probably should go watch one of the DC ones sometime this week.
Yeah.
Because I'm just getting kind of that itch again.
So X-Men doesn't hold up very well.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Pretty much my first introduction to X-Men ever. I had no idea who they were or what they did, and I'm gonna be completely honest. My knowledge of X-Men comes from
the TV show. Yeah.
An awesome thing is they stayed really close to the comics. They pretty much just took the comics and
Back
put them
then,
on,
that's what they did. They
put them
had
on TV.
So they did that with the Spider-Man TV show too. They did the whole thing where he's evolving and turning into the six-armed Spider-Man.
Yep. I remember that.
I remember one episode where he's going through this and the Punisher comes in. And back then I was like, oh, cool, this guy is the Punisher, I guess. And nowadays I go, why did you have Punisher on a kid's TV show?
Yeah, he's not a kid's character.
You can't do that. But they did, like, the Secret Wars. They did the Venom storyline for Spider-Man. Everything was really close. This was back when people didn't make TV shows to make TV shows. They did it to pay homage to the comics. Like Earth's Mightiest Heroes tried to do.
And like I said,
on.
X-Men did a great job of that.
Yeah.
All the Apocalypse storyline and all this stuff. And that's pretty much the only thing I know about X-Men. Yep. I don't get the comics. I don't read them. I get sometimes they're thrown into crossovers. However, and this is a fun fact about Marvel Studios right now, they are so furious with Fox and their inability to let them do crossovers or use the word mutants and stuff. They have stopped putting X-Men into any of their major events.
Whoa.
So for the past year, not a single major event has had X-Men characters in it.
Oh, wow.
Now, there have been some Avengers characters, but that they were Avengers.
Yeah.
You got Scarlet Witch, and even Rogue's technically an Avenger most of the time. But they're not on the cover art. They avoid talking about them.
They barely show up
They
in
do
them.
they do the same thing with Fantastic Four. Have you noticed? You haven't seen hardly any Fantastic Four in the comics
at all. Yeah,
and it's because Marvel's to the point where they're like, "Look, we have tried. We've tried to buy them back. We've tried to work with you. You won't do it. So you know what? We're not going to advertise for you."
The only reason they don't do that with Spider-Man is because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man.
You can't really
do
that to your poster child.
However, Sony has told Marvel that they are totally willing to work with them to have Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in something coming up.
All right.
So maybe in the Infinity Wars, he'll make an appearance. But Fox may own the rights to X-Men. They also own the right that if any new characters are introduced as a mutant in the X-Men comics, they own the rights to them.
Oh, wow.
So Marvel hasn't introduced a single new X-Men character or new mutant for the past 4 years because of this.
They've been doing Inhumans instead.
They've been doing, Inhumans or Miracles is another one.
Yeah.
Or Specials are
Nice.
the other names. So they're going to probably move away from the name Mutants and stop that. Marvel owns the rights to the action figures and has not made a single action figure based off of an X-Men movie. Live action movie.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Have you seen? You've seen Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Because
I've seen some Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. You've seen all kinds of Avengers
again,
stuff.
it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It-
you've
you
seen
can't-
Avengers stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
but there are no look at, okay, here's an example. Disney Infinity. You've got
yeah.
Hulk, Thor, Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. You've got all these awesome Marvel characters. There's no Wolverine.
No, there's no Rogue, there's no
Gambit,
Gambit, there's no
none of that.
Cyclops. Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I learned this. I was reading an article the other day
About
about
5
this.
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
things or
there's
whatever.
a lot of behind the scenes fighting going on. And,
Wow.
You know, Marvel's playing dirty,
Yeah. Good to know.
and they can.
And you know what?
They've got the money
Good.
and they've got the.
Good.
That's what I said. Too.
Yeah.
When I read it, I was
I'm
like,
fine.
good.
Good. That
Fox,
needs to happen.
give us back our rights, or at least do a mutually exclusive.
Yeah, be
thing.
nice. Be nice about it, and maybe they'll let you play again. So, anyway,
X-Men,
back to-
another X-Men cartoon that I liked was X-Men Evolution.
now
that was a
here's
little
what
bit
I was
newer.
talking about back in the '90s. Things used to go along with the comic storyline. X-Men Evolution,
Totally new.
they didn't even care about the comics.
Yeah.
at all.
The most recent X-Men was Wolverine and the X-Men. That had one season and got canceled.
yeah. It was actually a good season too, though. I liked that.
Yeah, but
I
it got
liked that show.
canceled, and that was part of their feud too.
Their feud.
Yeah, that's included in that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, X-Men Evolution was pretty good. They're all high school students, which whatever. That makes it okay for the kids.
But the art's great. I love the animation in that one.
All right, Scott. Do you remember Shaolin Showdown?
The name sounds familiar, but I have no idea. I can't remember what any of it was.
There were 4 kids being trained as Shaolin monks. There was the one kid who was kind of short and he had the dots on his head and he was bald. And there was
So
a
basically,
girl.
he
there
was
was
he was Ong or Aang from
kinda.
from The Last Airbender. Okay.
There was a girl. There was a jock from Texas kind of guy, and then there was a guy from Brazil who was like a kid from Brazil. He was like a soccer player.
Okay.
And they ran around and they gathered these artifacts that did certain things. Like they got this orb of tsunami that created that when you activated it, it poured water from it. Okay.
Okay.
And what would happen is there's these evil people trying to gather these artifacts too. Like there was this comb that you would activate it, and the comb's things would extend and it would wrap people up, kind of thing.
Okay, that's sounding familiar.
Yeah. And when 2 people would touch the artifact at the same time, they got into a Shaolin showdown, which they had to fight.
Yes.
They had to fight on like the artifact would make a stage, then make it difficult, and they had to fight one another.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember now.
Yeah. Now that you're looking at pictures,
Now
you're
that
like,
I saw
"Oh,
a picture.
yeah."
Okay.
So I can't remember how many seasons it had, but it was super fun and super funny, and it was kind of another one of those collect them all.
And the
kind of
sarcastic
things.
dragon that
Yes.
that
Oh, I forgot about the
hated
dragon.
doing stuff for
Yeah.
him and hated carrying him around.
Yep.
And the one kid that looks like a vampire.
His name was Mojo, I believe, was the dragon's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember this. Yeah. Started in 2003.
So I was about 13.
Yeah, which means I was 17, 18.
Yeah, which means you were at the tail end of. Because that's the thing is, I kept you interested in cartoons a lot longer than
Yeah, definitely.
most people would have, because every Saturday morning we'd record them, and I would make you record them, and then I'd put them on in the room, and we'd watch them together. So yeah, Shaolin Showdown is one of my favorite
Speaking
ones.
of dueling,
Oh yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
man.
Another out of an anime, just like Pokemon and Digimon.
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
the TV show that made me want a Magic the Gathering TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was about a kid that played the Yu-Gi-Oh card game.
Yeah, Yugi
And-
was his name.
Yeah, and he gets an artifact, which is a pyramid necklace
The
thing.
Millennium Puzzle?
I don't know.
Millennium Falcon?
It was some kind of puzzle.
Yeah, it was
And
a puzzle box,
and
and he
he
unlocked
finished
it.
it and unlocked it, and then out comes the soul of some ancient
Pharaoh.
takes him over.
Yep. And
This
suddenly he's better at card games.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's great. And then as the show progresses, at first it's just like the cards, and then he goes to a tournament and he finds out they've got these arm devices that you lay the cards on, and the creatures come up out of it and they
Yeah.
fight, but they can't actually hurt the person. It's still
but then it starts
3D.
being that they can hurt the person because
Yeah.
there's this cult that uses the cards, which are ancient Egyptian demons that they've trapped.
It was a lot of fun, but now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, he just totally possessed that kid. Like,
Yeah, he-
didn't even say
Didn't even-
thanks.
well, they came to an agreement during the show.
Of course.
So, yeah. Yeah, the thing that I hated about Yu-Gi-Oh though was it was my first foray into anime that took 3 episodes to complete one battle.
Yeah.
Because they talked so much and there was so much else going on. It's like you're watching the side characters do something else and you're like, just get back to the duel. I
Yeah.
just want to see the duel. And and the rules were inconsistent. They were so inconsistent at times.
Yeah, that's true. They were.
Because you're like, you think you had it down, and then all of a sudden they throw you a curveball, and you're like, what? No.
And then we actually played the card game a little bit,
which was
and
completely different than the TV
totally
show.
different than the TV show and the way you play.
But yeah,
But that was fun. That's
so
another
good.
one.
Wait, that was terrible. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is basically what I'm trying to sing here.
Years and a half show.
Turtle Power. Again, another. This was the cartoon that turned the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from ninjas into kid icons.
Yeah.
Because before this in the comics they were murderers and like full on
Not
serious. No. They were serious characters.
I'm not saying they're not murderers as in like bad
No,
people.
no.
They would protect
yeah.
the innocent, but they would kill.
They would kill.
Yeah,
and,
they wouldn't just knock them out. They would totally kill them.
And they turned them into pizza-loving surfers, which is cool. I
Yeah.
like it.
The animation's horrible.
Terrible
The
animation.
voices are terrible.
I like Krang's voice still.
Yeah, Krang's funny.
Yeah.
But I loved it as a kid or as I was younger.
Yeah.
But I can't watch it nowadays.
Nope.
It's too hard to watch. It's like
just look back on it fondly. Another show that's kind of really hard to watch that you probably saw when you were a kid, but I didn't. Transformers.
Yes, I watched it briefly because it was actually on the tail end of. I was born in '86.
Yeah.
and it was like wrapping up in '89.
Yeah.
I mean, so there was reruns and stuff as I was younger, but I don't remember too much about it in the actual cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But they did reruns for years.
Yeah.
And we did watch them.
The movie's great.
The movie
still holds up. Like
19 yeah,
even with the bad animation.
It's not even that bad though.
Arcing lasers.
Well, that's bad, but but that's just whoever drew that didn't understand about light.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah, lasers don't arc; they go in a straight line.
And even if they like regular bullets don't arc either.
Yeah, they do.
Not that.
It's called gravity.
Like nobody would shoot a bullet to where it arcs like that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Eh.
Transformers do.
Yeah, apparently.
But the movie's fun. The
Yep.
1986. Basically, the movie came out when I was born.
Yeah.
Same year I was born. So that's how old Transformers is. The comic books, apparently, and I've seen a little bit of the art, and the art's great. I mean, these guys that draw these Transformers are fantastic, and the comics are awesome. Apparently, they do get into some crazy stuff. But yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yep.
It's hard to watch.
And then the last one, you watched this a lot more than I did. I kind of watched it on your computer while you were watching it.
I didn't even watch it when it was out though.
Yeah.
I spent my years when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I think I was just getting out of junior high, getting into high school, and just found
What better way to start your high school career?
found a bunch of anime sites that uploaded Dragon Ball Z episodes.
Yep.
And I mean, I'd spend like hours trying to find one episode because out of every site
Yeah.
that I found didn't have them, and they were
Yeah.
for download. And these weren't torrents or Napster. This was
back
before
when
all
back when it was easier.
yeah. And I got every episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
We watched them together. We watched every episode.
I watched them with you. That was my next foray into anime that took forever to deal with one fight.
And that's even worse than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh,
as
so
far
much
as
worse.
there's, and it's funny we joke about it like they spend, a whole episode yelling and powering up, and it's kind of true. However, it's still fun to watch.
Oh yeah, because
But
everybody.
I went back and actually rewatched a couple episodes about the first season, the first saga or whatever, and I went, it's not as bad as everyone makes fun of. No, they don't spend an entire episode powering up.
Yeah.
They spend like 5 minutes powering up, and then the rest is fighting and talking and stuff. Fine. But the battles go on forever. The battle will go on for like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
like,
at
holy
the end of
crap.
it, you're like, there's so much destruction.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was fun.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into a few honorable mentions.
I've got another one.
Oh, you
that
do?
You're gonna go, holy crap, how did I forget that? And I'm going to give you a clue.
Okay.
Research.
Oh my gosh, you're right. The Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yep, you got it.
I actually rewatched this with my wife, and we almost watched the entire series.
We watched
She liked
that.
it so
We watched
much.
that like every Saturday.
Yep.
It came on, and we watched every episode, and we loved it. And it was
Super,
It was actually
super
Jackie
fun.
Chan doing the voice of Jackie Chan in the show.
Actually, no. I think
I thought it
he did.
was.
I think he did the voice of Uncle.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Jackie Chan did the Jackie Chan voice.
Okay.
I'll have to research it just to meet. I'll have to
Uncle-
do research.
Yeah. Uncle Jackie Chan, Jade was the
Toro,
girl.
remember Toro?
Yep.
Toro's mom was the best. Every episode with Toro's mom,
I don't
where she
remember
can-
that.
Where she, so she's the classic kind of Chinese voice lady that they always get,
Okay, yeah.
and her and Uncle would always butt heads.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
remember now. But I was surprised it wasn't on your list because I was
Yeah.
like, we watched that all the time.
I didn't even think about it
All the
Oh,
time.
Man. Yeah, that's a really good show. That's on Netflix too. So
Yeah, and the animation holds up just fine. And it's funny. It's
Yeah.
really funny too. Jackie Chan is a big goofball. In
Yeah.
it. Not Jackie Chan the character, not Jackie Chan the person. Jackie Chan the character is a big goofball.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to mention some shows that we used to watch on Sunday that weren't cartoons. Hercules, Xena,
Yeah.
Beastmaster,
Yes.
Cleopatra 2525.
I need to go download that
That's a terrible show. I
because you
don't know
can't
why.
find it.
Yeah.
They don't have seasons of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go torrent. Or something
We used to
because-
always watch Simpsons.
Yes.
Every time it would come on, and King of the Hill and Futurama. Like all of those were our Sunday.
But I remember
viewings and everything.
Cleopatra 2525, Andromeda. of course.
Andromeda when it came out. I think a little bit of Farscape, but not much.
Yeah, no, and that one's fantastic.
And Stargate SG-1 and whatnot. Like I remember we used to go to Grandma's house, and we would watch, like we would spend maybe about an hour or so running around outside playing games, and then we would always have somebody with a watch to tell us when it was around 4 o'clock, so we could run in and watch Xena or Cleopatra 2525 or whatever
or
was on.
Beastmaster. Oh my gosh.
Beastmaster.
Hercules with Kevin Sorbo.
Yes.
With crazy religious nut Kevin Sorbo.
You just have to mention that. That's fine. And then some other honorable mention cartoons. Street Sharks.
Yes. Fun. And I love
Completely ridiculous. Even back then, I knew that show was
I
ridiculous.
love their action figures though.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
and
man.
they weren't even all sharks.
Uh-uh.
There was a hammerhead, great white, and then there was an orca.
Yeah, one of them was an orca.
And he was my favorite, I think. And
And they used to go into the ground and
They would
swim underneath the ground and break the concrete and everything. And I'm like, and I remember as a 10-year-old going, who's fixing these roads so quickly? Like, they must have like the best crew ever. Because it takes all summer to fix a road here in Utah. This is more you than me, biker mice from Mars.
yeah, you don't remember watching that,
Not
huh?
at all.
I mean, they're
You don't remember Tex Avery though, so
That's true.
Or Hysteria. So
stereo.
that's where they used to do.
No, I don't remember.
They,
that.
it was like a clip show, a cartoon clip show. Maybe it's Historia or something. But they used to do different time periods with different people. Like they used to have a guy who was a Viking and blah blah blah.
Biker Mice for Mars were bikers that rode on Harleys and fought other bikers on Harleys.
No, I get the concept. They were bikers and they were mice and they were from Mars.
Yeah, exactly, and hilarious.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's listening to this that can do statues and stuff, if you made statues like a diorama of like all the street sharks or all the biker mice from Mars, I would buy it. I would, because I think that's hilarious.
Somebody's gonna make it, and it's gonna be like $600, and you're like, I can't buy that, and they're gonna be like, but I made it for you.
and I'm gonna be like, hey, here's your
All
money.
right, fine.
But like, there's so many Ninja Turtle stuff out there. I don't really
yeah.
care. I mean, but
Yeah.
there's no street sharks.
No
There's no
street
biker mice.
sharks, yeah.
You know, wow.
Recess. I don't know if you remember watching Recess, or if that was
don't.
more mine.
Yeah.
That's where the kids on the playground and like the fourth graders control the swing set. And
Oh,
things like,
yeah. I guess I remembered a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, that was more kind of my bag than yours. So, and then I wrote this down. This will be for my cousin too, if he still listens to the podcast. Gargoyles.
Yeah. And the animation on Gargoyles is kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar to Batman Animated.
A lot of Star Trek voice actors in there
Yeah.
too. I think Brent Spiner,
Michael Dorn.
and Jonathan Frakes was in
Yeah.
there too, and maybe
I think Marina Sirtis was.
Yeah,
as well.
I think Marina Sirtis was in there too. So there's some shows for you, like
Animaniacs.
Yep. I mentioned that up at the top, but you're right. Animaniacs.
Yeah. Animaniacs watch all the time. Looney Tunes
Super
not so
hilarious.
much.
Pinky and the Brain is part
Pinky and
of
the Brain,
Animaniacs.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was really fun growing up.
So tell us what your favorite old cartoons were. Do you watch them now even? I mean, how do they hold up?
I still watch some of mine.
You know, if there's any that we missed or didn't catch there, let us know. And because Adam sent us that email last week, and he mentioned a bunch of video games, and I was like, oh yeah, I played that. I remember, you know.
Because there were a lot of cartoons out there. They used to do new lineups pretty much every couple months.
Yeah.
So there's probably some we forgot. So let us know. And
let us know if any of these are on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Because I haven't really checked. We should check and see if Street Sharks are on there. That'd be hilarious.
I don't think they are, but
Probably not.
You know what's a really fun show that back when the Hanna-Barbera people did TV shows?
Yep.
Brave Star. Do you ever remember Brave Star?
Nope, doesn't ring any bells.
It's an Indian sheriff on Mars. Not like Dot, Feather.
Dot, Feather,
not Dot. Yeah, Feather, not Dot. And his deputy is a anthropomorphic horse, and he can turn into a real horse, and he's like a robot or something like that. But it's really funny. Like Casey and I watched a couple episodes on some Cubo or something like that, and we just laughed. And so
yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, somebody out there. There's one person who's listening to the podcast on the bus or something. They go, yeah, Brave Star. All right, so that's our topic for this week. So let's go ahead and get into our picks of the week.
Wow, someone forgot to take their true blood tonight.
I'm not a vampire.
Seriously? I thought with the darkness and the vanishing, then what, super strength?
No.
Can you fly?
In a plane.
Wait, you're not just some guy in a bat costume, are you?
That's right. It's time for our picks of the week. And we're going to start
things
out.
we're geeking out about this week.
You want to start, Scott? Or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
Okay. So we talked about Will Wheaton up at the top of the show. King of the Geeks.
The King of the Geeks.
Yep. And we talked about Felicia Day, the Queen of the Geeks.
Yep.
Well, they have a little YouTube channel called Geek and Sundry where they do geeky
awesome.
stuff. Yeah. Felicia Day plays video games that she never got to as a
With
kid
her brother.
with her brother, which is super hilarious. She's got quite the mouth on her.
It's called co-optitude.
Yeah. She's got quite the mouth on her.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah.
Like, I see her in those, and I'm like, whoa, she's not all innocent like her
Character in the
characters
Guild.
are.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Guild, that's on there
Yep.
from Geek and Sundry.
There's
another one that they do that's I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Man at Arms, where they build weapons from games.
Okay.
Like they built this mace from Dragon Age.
Okay.
The thing weighs like 20 pounds. It's huge, and it's all intricate and really cool. And then they go and test them, and then they go and smash them against stuff, and like see if they actually would work good. And
But the one that I want to talk about this week is Will Wheaton's specific show, Tabletop. Not only is this my gateway into board games, this is where, and you got me hooked on this, by the way. Thank you for that addiction.
You're welcome.
Because you're like, hey, check out Will Wheaton does this board game called Small World. You should check it out. And I watched the episode, and from that point on, I was hooked.
Yeah, Corey's got a bunch of games. And
I have an entire bookshelf full of board games.
If you had more money, you'd have an entire room full of board games.
I would have every board game that he ever puts on that show. But he just came out with season 3, and the first episode's fun. He gets J. August Richards on there, which
so tell us a little bit about the format of the show.
So Will Wheaton comes up and says, today we're going to be playing this board game, and he tells you what the board game is about, and then he puts and then he gets himself and however many other people it takes to play a regular game on that show. Usually 4 is what they do. Yeah. And these are famous people, either YouTube, actors he gets sometimes, or other people from the Geek and Sundry channel. Like he had Paul and Storm on there. He had Brandon Ruth on there at one point. He had, the first episode, he had Day 9 from YouTube, who does a lot of the StarCraft commentary. But so for this first episode, he had J.R.S. Richards, but it was an okay episode. It was good.
First episode of season 3.
Yeah, and then the second episode, he plays this game called Forbidden Desert with Felicia Day, John Heater, which is Napoleon Dynamite,
Yep.
and Alan Tudyk.
Nice.
And Alan Tudyk is so hilarious in it. I will tell you now. I don't want to spoil it though. I will tell you off air what he decides to name his character. But
you can
needless to say,
it's not.
it's kind of a funny joke and everything.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll just tell you off air.
Watch it. Season
watch
2.
it. Watch season 2.
He always seems like
episode 2.
he's stoned.
You know what? He seems like that in this too. But he is so funny. He's just like, okay, well, this is awesome. Like I watched it and it made me appreciate tabletop. Thank you, Will Wheaton, for everything you do.
Thank you for his addiction.
Yeah, thank you for my addiction.
Thank you for his wallet draining.
And I will tell you this. They talk to we talk to people in comic book shops and everything, and he says that we try and find out what Will Wheaton is playing in advance so that we can double stock it.
Yeah,
because he's done a couple games.
It's not just people. This is the comic book, the shop owner near us, and he says that every time they come out with a new episode with a game,
he sells out of
that game.
Mm-hmm. Or he has to order a bunch in because people are asking about it. So Will Wheaton did one of my favorite games that he did was Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is a horror themed game, and it had been out of print. All of the eBay copies got sold. Everything, like it was $150 for a copy of it to get a copy of it, and then they came out with the second printing because there was such a demand after this.
Such a big demand, yeah.
So I snagged a copy as soon as they came out with the second one. I was like, mine.
And I played it Halloween. Actually, we played it Halloween, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I actually had a lot of fun on it. I'm not a big board game person.
Yeah,
I never have
know.
been.
I know. I can hardly get you to play.
I know. your wife won't play with you. Mm-mm. I won't play. It's like you have to go drag. There needs to be like a board game enthusiast club or something. You can go play.
Where I sit and swill a bottle of cognac and talk about Munchkin for an hour.
Sure. Speaking of Munchkin, you played that last night.
Yes, I did.
So Corey loves his board games. If you have any suggestions for board games, he would love to hear them.
Yeah, I would love to hear them.
Or I would like to hear them as well. Because sometimes I get them as gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell Scott. They'll get to me. Yep. All right, what's your pick of the week, Scott?
My pick of the week is actually a book series by Robert A. Bevan.
Yep.
Right? Did
I
say that right? Robert A. I think it was A. Or is it just
I think
Robert?
It's just Robert.
Robert Bevan.
Yeah.
Well, Robert Awesome Bevan. Robert A. Bevan.
You're declaring
I'm declaring his middle name is A. Awesome.
Yep.
For awesome.
A for awesome.
And the book series is called Critical Failures. There's 3 books so far. I don't know if we mentioned it before. I think
nope. This is not one of the ones.
Time?
This was kind of my book for me until you started reading them and you loved them, because I talked about the NPCs when I read it and how it was a book that players needed to read in order to get better acquainted with how DMs run their world and everything.
Yeah.
Critical Failures is a DM's book about throwing people into a shitty situation, basically.
Yeah. So he's got 3 books, and it's about a group of friends that get together at the Chicken Hut, which is basically like a small chicken restaurant like KFC or something. And they go to play the game at Caverns and Creatures. So because they can't use Dungeons and Dragons.
Copyrighted infringement is okay.
So Dungeons and Dragons was created by Gary Gygax, and Caverns and Creatures was created by Larry Lilacs. So there's a lot of fun play on words and that kind of stuff. But what they do is none of them are. They're all tired of being the Cavern Master, the leader of the game. They're all tired of it. They want someone else to do it. So they put out an ad in Craigslist,
like you do.
Yep, like you do. And they find someone answers the ad, and his name's Mordred, and he's going to come on
right
in
there. Right there. You just know he's kind of nuts.
What?
And he shows up wearing a cape.
He's a short, fat guy with a scraggly beard wearing a cape.
That reminds me, I need a shave.
Well, it's not the end of November.
That's true. Tomorrow I can shave. So
it's getting kind of woolly. I think you should keep it up. I really do.
No, the wife said it was time.
Get rid of the mustache. No, get rid of the mustache and have a big old grizzly beard underneath.
Oh my gosh!
And have it be like a dwarf beard.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, So Mordred shows up. He's in a cape. He's got his own stuff, and he's a super harsh dungeon master. You know,
and they're all like, he's super into the role play and everything like that, and they're all just about killing things.
Yep, they just want pretty much like every D&D game out there.
Pretty much.
The dungeon master wants role play.
That's why they're the dungeon master.
Yep, and all the characters want to get into combat and get loot and experience. They don't really care much about the role play. They just want to do the combat.
One of them, Cooper is his name, is like the worst person in the world, and makes fun of him one too many times. And so he gives them these special dice to roll. Well, these special dice all land on one and send them into the game world as their character.
Yep, they wake up in the game world as their character, and craziness ensues.
Oh my gosh.
Because Cooper ended up killing an NPC, and there was a hit on their head, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens. That's the first book, so they have to focus on that. The second book, they find out there's more people in the world that Mordred sent there.
Whoa, spoilers.
Whatever.
And the third one's even crazier.
And the third one's even crazier. I hope there's a fourth one.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
And he's got a lot of short stories as well that involve these same characters.
The D6 series is what he's calling them.
But Critical Failures, 1, 2, and 3. You can pick
By the way,
up.
the third one...
They're only Kindle available, I think. I don't think there's paperback or anything.
That's fine. Kindle's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But
I think the third one is called instead of a Storm of Swords, like the third Game of Thrones, it's called a Storm of Shits.
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that describes the book. So
I read them all. It took me like 3 days, and that's it. 3 days on the train, plus, I stayed up super late reading them on 2 nights till like 1 or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Trying to read through them, crash through them. But they're hilarious. They make you laugh out loud.
Yep.
And I had a lot of fun with them. So that's my pick of the week.
Yep.
That's what I was geeking out about
That's
this
a
week.
great pick of the week. Well, if you have a pick of the week or any cartoons that you want to send us or any
I just
board
told
games.
you everything.
No, not you. The fans.
Oh, the fans.
Sorry, I should be looking
right.
at the microphone when I'm talking to the fans.
You eyes crossed and everything.
Yep. Well, you can send us an email to actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
You can also hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/actsofgeekery, and leave us a message or a comment on one of our posts.
Or like us.
Yeah, like us.
You can go to twitter.com. We are at Acts of Geekery, or you can use the hashtag Acts of Geekery.
And we'll be able to find it.
Yep.
And surprise, surprise, Brother Geek Scott has been working his butt off lately.
Yeah, I know. My internet's been terrible. Thank you very much.
And by working my butt off, I mean clicking a few buttons and then letting the internet do everything else for me. I have uploaded all the episodes, or almost all of them. I'm still working through them, but I'm on like 18. So up to YouTube.
Yay! So you can leave a YouTube comment
and go like it.
Yeah,
and like our page and subscribe to us, and I'll be posting those as soon as possible.
Yeah,
as soon as
maybe
I can.
if we get more subscribers to the page, I might start doing some more Let's Play videos again.
We can do Let's Plays. Another friend of ours had a great idea. I kind of want to do this.
Okay.
Where we sit down in front of a terrible movie and comment on it. All
Mystery Science Theater. We would probably have to do that where that would probably have to be more of a podcast thing.
Yeah.
Where we talk into the microphone while we're watching the movie.
Yep. We couldn't be showing it because of copyright, but we could be talking about it.
And then you guys play it along with us. So
yeah. So
that's a good idea.
All those are ACTS.
Not AXE.
Not AXE. Oh, and youtube.com/Acts of Geekery.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Of course. Or you can just search for Acts of Geekery and you can find us. You can see our logo.
You can find one of our pages or our subscription thing.
But
yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, that's an episode.
That is an episode.
Yeah, that is an episode. But let's go drinking because we're 21 now.
This is our drinking episode.
Yep. I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek.
Keep geeking out.
See ya.